My name is Mike Yost, and I am your host. And I will be joined today by Michelle Pastel, who is a Senior Manager of Manufacturing 4.0 at Corning Incorporated. Before we welcome Michelle to join us here today, I want to take just a second and talk about some logistics and background about this webcast series. First of all, the concept of 6 degrees is the idea that every person on the planet is just 6 social connections away from knowing each other. And so at CESMII, we ask the question, how close are we to the knowledge that we need to make smart manufacturing a reality for each of us? And we think that part of the core way that we're going to get that information is by getting connected with as many people as we can, people with experience, people with bumps and bruises, people with successes under their belt that can help us learn with and from each other to make smart manufacturing a reality for all of us. So we're going to have a quick 15 or 20-minute conversation here with Michelle in just a minute. Before we do that, I want to just step through the logistics of the platform that we use. We are using the Zoom webinar platform. If you're not familiar with the platform, just a couple of points here. First of all, your microphones are muted, and they will be muted throughout the broadcast. You should be seeing me in a window, a small thumbnail window. You will see Michelle here shortly as well. If you don't like the way those thumbnails are presented on your screen, you can click on those, and there are different options for minimizing them or turning them off entirely or moving them around the screen. If you do have questions, you can hover over the black bar that should be on your screen, the Zoom bar, and there's a Q&A panel there that you can click on and you can submit your questions. If you do submit a question and we don't get to answer it, we will respond by email and make sure that everybody gets an answer. And finally, the webcast today is being recorded, and so we will post this online, and everybody will be able to watch this along with the other webcasts in the series. So with that behind us, let's jump in today and welcome Michelle Pastel from Corning. Michelle has been with Corning for over 27 years. Today, she leads a group, the Manufacturing 4.0 group, that's responsible for collaborative, multi-organizational projects that are focused on developing and delivering digital solutions. And you can see the things that they're working to integrate: materials, processes, equipment with measurements, process controls, modeling, analytics, and computing platforms. And the ultimate goal is that they're looking to achieve faster fundamental understanding within a plant to plant, across the supply chain for data-driven manufacturing. It's an interdisciplinary work, as we will talk about here. She has extensive experience within this team and within the space overall. You can also see that she has been active in industry broadly, being part of the SMLC, the Smart Manufacturing Leadership Coalition, since 2011. That's actually where I got to meet her. She was appointed the secretary in 2014 and is currently the chairwoman of the board. I had the opportunity to work with her on the pursuit team that was putting together the bid to actually start CESMII, the Smart Manufacturing Institute. So I've known her for a number of years, respect her greatly, and welcome her to the webcast today. Michelle, if you can unmute yourself and turn on your video. There we go. How are you today?
I'm good, thank you. Good morning, everyone.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Michelle. And I want to get out of the way and just give you the floor and let everybody know what the smart manufacturing look like to you.
Sounds great. Thank you. So good morning, everyone. And as we all know, smart manufacturing is a very broad topic. But there's an element of it that I'd like to talk about today, because I think this is one of the really important aspects for us not to forget about as we each pursue smart manufacturing for our organizations. So maybe the first part of the slide. So first I want to start with talking about from a technology perspective. At Corning, smart manufacturing is the integration of sensors, process controls, modeling, advanced analytics, and computing platforms to improve process and product development, to improve manufacturing performance, and reduce manufacturing costs within a plant, from plant to plant, and across the supply chain. And when we talk about this from a systems perspective, from a technology perspective, these are all technologies that we've heard about. We have many legacy solutions in our plants that help us, make product and deliver profitability for our shareholders. But there are new technologies that are becoming available. And part of our challenge is understanding what business problems can be solved with these new digital technologies, and what's the best way to do that, integrating the legacy with the next generation. And, when I talk about collaboration from a systems perspective, this is about integration, systems engineering, and things that we've been doing for many years. But there are significant changes with cloud compute, with app development technologies. And so we're now being challenged with how do we bridge OT, operational technologies on the plant floor, and IT, our information technology systems that help us at the enterprise level. And so it's really important for us to collaborate across organizations because we understand what we know how to do, but for us to design these systems to make people and machines most efficient and effective, we have to understand what others do and what their opportunities are, what their challenges are, and collectively design how we're going to overcome those challenges. I think maybe I'll stop there, Mike, and see if there's any comment that you'd like to make.
Yeah, just that, understanding the technologies, layering in the new with the old, the legacy, the existing infrastructure, and the mindset too, right? We've been driving our people, our processes in specific ways for a long time, and now as all of a sudden there's potentially a new way of doing things, personally, I believe, and we've talked a lot on this webcast series about, the operational challenges, the organizational, the cultural type of elements that are required to understand and to work through together in a collaborative way while leveraging what is obviously a compelling set of new technologies and advances to take what we've been trying to do for a long time. And I think you said it at the top, this is about solving real business problems. And I think that's a great perspective to set for everybody to understand. We're not chasing technology for technology's sakes, and it doesn't sound like Corning is, right? You're focused on actual business problems. How do we use these technologies to serve the business?
Right. And, there are many technology changes that are going on. You mentioned in the introduction that I'm leading an organization that's leading what we call Manufacturing 4.0 in Corning. The reason we call it Manufacturing 4.0 is because there are many technology initiatives underway. There's Industry 4.0's approach, there's a smart manufacturing approach, there is IIoT, there's 5G, there's cloud. It goes on and on and on. And these, as you said, are not about using technology for the sake of using it, but when they enable us to do something that we weren't able to do before, or we can do more efficiently or effectively now, we're looking at those technology evolutions. And just one more comment around systems. These are systems of systems, and this interoperability is so important. We can write custom code to connect most anything, but when we have designs and strategies that look at how do, by design, these systems facilitate communication between each other, I think that's where we're going to get very significant efficiency gains, both in our development of those systems, but also in the deployment and sustainability of those systems.
Excellent. Yeah, and I think as you talk about the new technologies that are coming, and as you talk about the business problems that a manufacturer is trying to solve, you're talking about the technology is coming not just at the manufacturing operations team. It's not coming just at the manufacturing engineering level, right? It's in all elements of the business are being offered up the opportunity to have more technology, more advanced systems coming at them. And so, organizationally, you have to take those things into account as where's innovation coming from. And then I think as you and I had talked previously, you have a broader look of manufacturing 4.0 that is beyond just the manufacturing operations area, but obviously has an impact in driving the business, value for the business broadly, not in just one particular area.
Right. And maybe if we go to the next part of the slide, this doesn't mean that you forget all of the good principles that have helped your organization be a solid manufacturing organization till now. For example, in Corning, we leverage what we call performance excellence. It's the Six Sigma DMAIC approach as an example, and you can see it there in our product quality architecture. We're leveraging the principles that have guided us and leveraging smart manufacturing to help us go another level further to extend what was possible with the technologies that we've had in our systems to support things like DMAIC and product quality architectures to now going even further. And as we look at going beyond detecting if we're making product that is non-conforming to the customer's requirements, and actually preventing and getting into predicting process performance and prescribing what actions are most effective, whether that's through automated control methodologies or through guidance to the human that's involved with our manufacturing processes. This is really about leveraging our systems to the fullest to enable these good foundational methodologies to take us further in our manufacturing capabilities.
To me, this is invaluable to have an organization like yours and a person like yourself that's been in the throes of these discussions for a long time, right? And to have you and the organization show people that it is still predicated on doing what you do as a manufacturer, just doing it better, right? And ensuring that you're shipping quality products, and what can we do to leverage the product and process engineering and the rigor and the discipline that we've made our company reputation on all these years, and our profitability, and how can we improve on that, as opposed to a lot of people, when they think about technology and manufacturing, think that people go away and it's all robots and automation and lights out facilities and things like that. But this obviously shows that it's a layering in of the technologies in a way to support the people and the processes that you have in place.
Right. And with smart manufacturing, really bringing the ability to leverage data and larger sets of data, and leverage algorithms and models to help us in our manufacturing processes. And I'll say the management of our supply chain. This collaboration now extends not only between multidisciplinary people within your own organization and your own company, but now it requires you to collaborate outside of your company. With these new technologies that are being developed, we have to collaborate with solution providers to help us solve the problems that these digital technologies can help us with. And we also need to collaborate within our supply chains, because with the ability to leverage these advanced analytics and data science capabilities, the more data we have, the more we can use it. And this isn't about any data, but it's about the right data. And I'll talk about that in just a moment. Okay. But the more data we have, we can leverage these next generation, machine learning capabilities, principal component analyses, et cetera, to help us not only understand what's happening within our plant, within our own four walls, but also the outside influences that impact our manufacturing performance and the product quality that we produce, and therefore our costs and our responsiveness to customer needs. And so I think just working with people who have expertise in these what I'll call complementary areas is so important, because we need to understand what they need to be able to do their jobs more efficiently and effectively, and then more can be done. They learn how to analyze something, for example, and then we can set automated processes in place to monitor that, to predict that an event is coming, and to alert us before it actually happens, and we can act in an automated way or in a manual way, but prevent process upsets. There's so many things that we in manufacturing we understand our processes, we understand our equipment, we understand material behaviors, we understand what the attributes are of the products that we need to produce. And we have been data-driven organizations up until now. That's not going to change. It's just the data that we're going to have access to is going to expand. And these things that we had an intuition that we knew were happening, but we never had a sensor or a way of visualizing what was going on in the process. Smart manufacturing is helping us take that intuition and extend it into being able to leverage it in ways that help us have, I'll say, models and algorithms and computers help us monitor the process when we need to turn our attention to something else that's happening in manufacturing. So it's all very collaborative, between machines and people and organizations, so on and so forth.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you. Just in order to have that interoperability and that coordination, that collaboration, one of the points you have on your slide, your third bullet point, talks about data context. Could you take maybe just a minute or so and talk about the importance of context as you're working in sharing that information?
Yeah, so our manufacturing solutions that we've been able to leverage in the past have not allowed us to aggregate disparate data types very easily. And with the advent of data lakes and landing zones and cloud computing environments, they're now designed to handle these different data types, and putting them together in an organized way is how we gain efficiency. That organized way requires each data point to be stored in a way that you understand its relationship to every other data point in that repository. And without that, you are not able to analyze the data, understanding how it relates to the maybe your product quality measurements or your process instrumentation measurement results. And so you really have to tie all of these data points together so that whatever you need to visualize, whatever you need to analyze, whatever you need in that data environment is already linked to everything else around it. And this is how we allow our data scientists to focus on applying their data science expertise, and our statisticians and process engineers, our advanced controls engineers, can all do what they were trained to do, and we've designed the systems to automatically serve up the data so they don't have to spend as much time getting permission to get it, getting it, wrangling it, aligning it, and preparing it to be able to support them applying their technical expertise.
Well, that takes us, and you mentioned IT and OT and that intersection, and that makes my mind race to that balance, that connection there, doing that work you're talking about. And I would love to, we could spend lots of time talking specifically just about that challenge. Unfortunately, we promised to keep everybody in and out of here in 20 minutes. So we are at the end of our time. And I would just like to go back to the initial question that I asked you and ask you to give us one final takeaway, if you would, for the audience today.
Yeah. And, for me, smart manufacturing is about working in ways that we never have before, with technology, with our colleagues, with our customers and our, providers. And, the thing that I would say is, this collaboration piece is so important. We really need to think about how are we collaborating across organizational boundaries, whether it's within your company or outside of your company, and making smart manufacturing as effective as it can be in supporting your business's goals. And so I guess the question I would leave with everyone in the audience is, what are you doing to enable collaboration, to help each other think outside of the box of what solutions look like today, and dream about what could be possible tomorrow to make everyone's job, I'll say, easier and more rewarding, and of course our companies more productive and financially sound. So I think this is a bridge between people, process, and technology, and leveraging all of that and helping to facilitate it is what smart manufacturing looks like to me.
Fantastic. Well, certainly appreciate that and appreciate your time. I think valuable insights. So thank you very much, Michelle. And with that, everybody, I just want to remind you that if you have questions, please submit them. If you have topics you'd like to see covered, if you have people you'd like to see give their opinion of what smart manufacturing looks like to them, or if you want yourself to come on and sign up to be a guest, please email us, engage with us. And just a quick note of the February schedule. We will be the second and fourth Wednesday of each month at the same time. I'll be joined on February 12th by Rob Schoenthaler, who's the CEO and founder of Atology. And then February 26th with our partner from the Department of Energy's Advanced Manufacturing Office, Sudarshan Vachuri, excuse me. So with that, thank you very much for being here, and wish you all a very good day. Take care. Bye-bye.